Aquí estamos. All right, here we are live. Another episode of Totally Uncensored. And I'm delighted to have as my guest. I've been dying to get on for a long time. A Latino legend in the comedy biz. Yes, you are, bro. Yes, you are. I'm talking about Mr. Joey Vega.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's get some applause. Yeah.
You know, it's well deserved, bro. You are a legend. You right now, what is it? I know I met you a long time ago, but you're doing comedy now, stand up for what, like 30 plus years, right?
41 years.
41 years.
That's what makes you a legend. Not how funny I am, just that I've been doing it a long time. That's all.
That helps, bro. But the fact that you are still here doing it 40 years later, you're also like you could say a pioneer, bro. We hear about a pioneer, and I hear about Paul Rodriguez and George Lopez, but somewhere along the line, bro, they got to put Joey Vega in there, no?
They have to. I'd like for them to, but I don't know if they will. It's just
we're gonna put you there,
man. It's just being here a long time.
But you came out after Paul Rodriguez, right? I think so.
I don't know. Could have been a couple of years, because I started in 1980.
1980. Do you remember how we first met?
Do I remember how we first met?
Yeah, how you and I first met.
Well, I know it had to be in the Bronx.
Right, it was the Bronx.
Probably.
What comedy club?
Probably the Tryout in Westchester.
Wow, I remember the Tryout. That's right. Actually, where I first met you was in Yonkers at Shooting Stars.
There you go.
And you were headlining. I want to say, you remember Kim Cole?
Yeah.
She was featuring at the time.
Yeah.
And John Saliano, we both know.
Right.
He put me under his wing and everything. I was doing comedy maybe, Joey, like a year and a half.
Right.
And he was nice enough to put me up on a weekend show just for 5 minutes. And I would introduce the MC for the show. That was my little 5-minute get used to a nice crowd.
You know what? I do remember that. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And I remember Joey Vega rolling up real nice, looking cool the way you are today, bro. Killing it for 45 minutes, and I'm sitting in the back going, I want to be like that guy one day. You made it look so easy, bro.
I want to be like that guy too, again.
Well, you are, because your career has just, not so much taken off, but you have, maintained your level up there in comedy, right?
Well, I'm a working comedian. That's how I see it.
Yeah. So what made Joey Vega get into the comedy business game?
It's funny because I never set out to be a comedian, but one day, because of racism, I'm a comedian. Because This is what happened. I went out to dance, right, to a dance club with my friends, and they wouldn't let us in because it was a white club and we were Latinos, and they wouldn't let us in. They probably wouldn't let me in because I'm blanquito, but my friends were dark. So, so then my best friend's brother said, let's go to a comedy club, to the Improv. I hadn't even heard of it. And so we went to the Improv and we saw like Paul Reiser, Jerry Seinfeld, Eddie Murphy. We saw a bunch of comedians. And they said, oh, you could do that. I'm like, I could never get on stage and tell jokes. I could never do that. I used to get nervous talking to my family in the house, let alone going on stage. But they convinced me to do it. They dared me to do it. And I did it, and I passed on the very first try, which is unheard of. Only because I was so naive that I didn't know what I was doing. I just went up there and started talking. But I did prepare material, and it took me about 3 months to get up there, to get the nerve and the courage to do it. But it's basically because I couldn't get into the club that I became a comedian.
Oh, yeah. So racism been around a long time, is what you're saying.
You see, racism is not a bad thing all the time. Sometimes racism is good.
I'm telling you, man, it changes people's lives. There you go, bro.
That's right.
I like that.
I would still be working in the hospital. I'd be retired from the hospital by now.
You were working in the hospital before that?
I was working in the hospital, yeah.
Well, talk about hospitals. How did you handle this whole pandemic for the year, bro?
You know what? It wasn't that bad because in the last few years, I haven't been working that much. I toured with Marc Anthony, And then I do some clubs and I do some private gigs, but I haven't been doing a lot of comedy clubs. So to me, it was just like, I'm staying home this weekend. You know, before I was working, whenever I'm touring with Marc Anthony, I'm touring every week for like 3 months straight, 4 months straight. But when I'm not touring with him, I'm working once a month, you know, twice a month, depending. So it wasn't a big change for me.
Right.
And I like to work around the house. So I was working around the house. I just finished building some stairs today for outside for the patio. I was building some stairs. I said, "Oh shit, it's time to leave. Put on a fresh shirt. It looks like I just got off my yacht."
Yeah, that
was. But you know what? It was nice that I was in the house with my wife, and she was cool, and you know we get along real good, you know, because we only see each other, you know, half an hour a day, so we get along great, you know, for that half hour.
Do you take your wife to your gigs with you now? I mean, you open when you're.
No, I used to just take my girlfriends. I don't take wives.
There you go. That's how you do it, bro. That's how
I don't have any girlfriends now. I used to take my girl. She comes every so. If I do a real good gig, a real nice gig, like sometimes I work in Aruba. Twice a year I go to Aruba and I do shows down there. So she wants to go. She goes, "Oh, I want to see you, Papito. I want to see you perform." I said, "How come you don't want to see me perform when I'm working in Newark? How come you don't want to see me perform?" You know.
That reminds me of the movie Goodfellas, right? Was it Goodfellas? Where you take your wife to the good gigs and the side chick to the.
Yeah. You take them. Saturday night is for the gumaras or whatever they call it.
The second gig. We're talking about like touring for Marc Anthony, right? Like how many years have you been touring with Marc Anthony?
This is 21 because last year we didn't tour. Well, we toured just up until February, but it's been about 21 years.
So you've been touring with Marc Anthony for 21 years, bro. And how did that connection? Was made? How'd you guys hook up?
I had a TV show in 1988, 89, called The Latin Connection.
I remember that.
And
right?
We ran. It was all about Latinos, right? So after the third show, we ran out of Latinos to interview. Because, you know, there was no Jennifer Lopez, there was no Shakira, there was no Ricky Martin. You know, so after the third show, we kind of ran out of people. So we had a lot of not house music. What's the other music? Freestyle artists. And Marc was about 18 or 19 years old, and he had just written a song for Sapphire, "Boy I've Been Told," and he came along, you know, when she was performing on the show, and we said, well, let's interview him. You know, we don't have guests. You know, we got so we interviewed him. He had long hair. He had the little glasses. You know, and we interviewed him, and he's very funny. He's a very funny guy. He loves comedy. So when he found out I was a comedian, he said, "Oh, let's go have something to eat after the taping." And I said, "All right, yeah, let's go." So we started talking. We became friends. And then he used to always. He had remember the beepers? He had a beeper. Right. So he said, "Here's my beeper number. Give me a call. I'll beep you. I'll beep me. I'll beep you." And he was like a not a pain in the ass, but he was like persistent. He was persistent, and and then he used to go to the comic strip all the time to watch me perform. And he would always tell me, "Listen, when I become a singer, I'm gonna be a singer. When I become a singer, I'm gonna open for you. Can I open for you?" I said, yeah, you go. And he kept repeating that every time he saw me. "Yo, man, I'm gonna be a singer. When I become a singer, I'm gonna open for you, right?" I said, yeah. And again, he would do it again. Yeah, you could open for me. He says, "Yeah, man." And I said, "And if you become a famous singer, then I'll open for you." He said, "Bet."
Really?
Yeah. And then we lost touch. We lost touch for about 5 years. And then one day I was at Side Street. Remember Side Street in the Bronx?
Oh, yeah, is that still around Side Street?
Yeah. So I was at Side Street and he was performing. And I didn't even know he was singing salsa.
Right.
I didn't even know. I just lost touch.
Right.
And I said, "Who's performing today?" They said, "Oh, Marc Anthony." I said, "Wait a minute. Marc Anthony? Little Marc Anthony? He's singing?" I go, yeah, he's getting very popular too. I'm like, "Really?" He probably won't even remember me anyway. Whatever. So I was sitting down, right? And he just happens, after his set, he happens to walk by. He goes, "Yo, Joey, what's up?" I said, oh, nothing much, man. Congratulations. You said you were going to be a singer. Now I'm going to open for you. And at that point in my life, I was down and out.
Really?
But nobody knew it. But, everybody said, oh, Joey, Latin Connection, Joey Vega, blah, blah. I was broke, man. I couldn't even get gigs. And so he says to me, I'm doing some gigs, man. And we talked all night long. He says, I'm doing some gigs, man. I don't want to offend you, but you want to open the show? And in my head, I was like, how much? How much? Because I needed the money, man.
Right.
And so I didn't even ask him. I said, yeah, let's do it. And it was at the ballroom, on 50-something Street.
50, I think 50.
51st
Street, yeah.
Yeah.
Broadway.
So he was there, and by this time now he had gotten a lot of. This was a few months later. By this time he had a lot of fans, and it was standing room only, and there was no seats. Everybody was standing up.
Right.
And I went up on stage, and the audience hated me. They hated me. They were like booing. And Mark was in the curtain, and he was laughing his ass off because he's a jokester. He's a jokester. Right. He loves comedy. And he said, "Man, that was horrible." I said, "Yeah, I know it's horrible. You don't have to tell me it's horrible." He goes, "That was fucked up. They hated you." I said, "Yes, I got it. He goes, "Man, they hated you."
Yeah, that's right.
To him, it was a joke. To him, it was fun.
Right.
So that was the beginning of that. And then next time then he came to see me at the comic strip that same night after he did his show. Right. I had a spot at the comic strip, a late spot, and he says, "Yo, we're gonna hang out with you." And so he came to see me, and then we hung out till like 4 or 5 o'clock, and then we kept calling each other. And then when he did the Madison Square Garden HBO special, he called me up. He says, I'm taping on Saturday, but I'm doing a show on Friday too.
Right.
He says, come on down and check out the show. I said, all right. So I came down, and it was Madison Square Garden, 20,000 people. And it was packed. And he did the show, and then after the show, he goes, "Yo, you want to open for me tomorrow?" And I was like, are you kidding me? He goes, "Yeah, man. We're taping the show tomorrow for HBO. Open the show." I said, "Hell yeah, open the show." So they had to clear it with HBO, and I didn't get on air, and I didn't get paid.
Right.
I just opened the show, but it was 20,000 people. It's like I never performed in an arena.
Right.
And that was 1999, I think, 2000. And then after that, he had a tour, and he told me, "You want to go on tour?" And I said, "Yeah, let's do it." I mean, after all, I was broke. And then things got better and better. We did that tour, then we did another tour, then another tour. We did a tour in 2002, that famous Puerto Rican story.
Yeah, we're gonna save that one for later.
Oh, you gonna save that one? All right.
Well, let's say that. We're gonna save that. What happened in Puerto Rico during that gig?
Tune in for what went on in Puerto Rico.
That's right. You're gonna have to wait till the end of this interview here to find out
Let me know, because it's a long story.
So what happened to Joey Vega in Puerto Rico, bro? Only a comic's nightmare, man.
That's been 18 years, 19 years, and that thing still follows me wherever I go, man. But I don't mind talking about it. It's no big deal to me.
But that's one thing about, being comedians and stuff. We got these gigs, and sometimes people think, they don't realize who they sometimes messing with on stage. They figure everything is cool. Like, it's almost like as fans, right? At games that they heckle you and stuff. Not that we get heckled, but I guess the point I'm making is I don't remember Dangerfield, bro, during prom season.
Oh, man.
Bro, I remember doing that for like 2 years. You know how it works, midnight show.
Yeah.
And he never ran it where it went from beginning to end. Like I would open up the show, let's say, you close the show.
Right.
I go back up again for that same audience and do this same act. Yeah. Then the audience is looking around going, we already heard it. And they already get pissed off, like, they're complaining. They walk out. Whatever walks out, replaced with new audience. You understand? So now the first comic, Anyway, long story short, I don't know what happened, bro, but And if you want to talk about it, but do you remember once, I don't know what happened, but stage left where you had to go into the audience? Do you remember that?
Was this in Dangerfields?
I didn't mean to bring it up, bro. This was at Dangerfield. I don't know
remember,
what. I don't know what the guy said to you, but the guy was.
Go ahead.
The guy was sitting stage left. I don't know what he said, but you had like your blue blazer on. It's funny how I remember this stuff. What you were wearing. This is like 20-some years ago. You took the blazer off, bro, and just went through the audience to the back to challenge this dude who said some shit to you.
You know what? I don't remember that one, but I remember I've done that before. Once,
okay.
I'm real mild mannered. I'm real cool, real nice. Right. Yeah. But then I get to that boiling point, and I lose it, and I just like it's on now. And one time in Dangerfields, they rented out the club. Some guy rented out the club,
right? And
he had a busload of all his friends come down from Brewster, New York, and they were heckling everybody. Yeah. Heckling everybody. And then it was my turn to go up. And I was like, I'm not in the mood for this shit. And Tony Bavacqua says, watch Joey, he could handle it. I went up there and they started heckling. And I can't, and I tried, bam, 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 bam. And then some girl yelled out, spick, something like that. And I was like, you shouldn't be saying that shit. Oh, yeah, spick. You got a small, can I curse?
Yeah, that's what you want,
huh? She said, you got a small dick. That's why. I said, I know. Yeah, my dick is small. So let me put it in your ass and see if you're going to feel it or not. And then some guy said something. And then I had it. I said, listen, motherfuckers. I'm going to wait outside of the bar. And I'm going to kick all you hillbillies' asses one by one. Right? So I went outside, right? And I'm standing by the bar. And the big guy, the big Irish guy, the bouncer, he was like, come on. Joey, you can't stand here. Let's go. Come on. So they pulled me away, right? So the story didn't end there. What happened was, like a year later, I'm working up in upstate New York.
Right.
And this guy comes up to me, this hillbilly looking guy comes up to me. He goes, yo, man, I was the guy that rented out the place at Dangerfields. And I had all my friends. We had chartered buses come down to watch me perform. And we kind of fucked everybody's act up. I apologize. I said, all right, no big deal. That's, I forgot all about that.
Right.
He goes, yeah, I got it on film. I taped it. I go, what? He goes, yeah, I taped it. I said, no, you can't do that, man. You can't tape people's acts. Right. Well, I'm all right, forget it. So I go up on stage, right? He starts heckling me. The same and people are standing. It's not even like chairs either. It was like that gig in the people are standing.
Right.
And I'm like, come on, man. What are you crazy? Oh, yeah. And he says, a real comedian could handle it. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, And I got to that point, that boiling point. You know what I did? And I used to dress a little weird sometimes, right? And I had this shirt that was like, it was so gay, it was ridiculous. Right? The shirt came up like this with buttons.
Right,
and it came down with buttons like that. And it had like little puffy sleeves.
Right.
It was the gayest shirt ever. So I got to the point where I was so pissed off, I went, and I ripped the shirt open because I didn't want to have anything to hold me back, right? And I jumped on the guy from the stage. I jumped on him and I started punching him.
Oh, shit. This was the dangerous?
So I don't remember that one about the blue blazer where I walked into the back, but I would do things like that. Sometimes I did shit like that, but you had to get me to that point.
But that was at Dangerfields?
Huh?
That was at Dangerfields?
This was no, the last part was upstate New York, but the guy was from Dangerfields.
Oh, that's what the guy said. You remember me?
Yeah.
So he took his road on the act with you, bro.
So he took his act on the road. Exactly. And after he apologized, he starts heckling me. The other comedian went up. Everything was fine. When I got up, he started heckling me. But
these people don't know, bro.
I've had a lot of stories like that. 41 years, man. It's a lot of stories.
I can imagine, man. So what's your favorite Marc Anthony gig that you had?
I'm gonna have to say the first one that I did with him in Atlantic City.
Yeah.
Because it was the first time that besides Madison Square Garden,
No.
which is 20,000 people, and we've done Madison Square Garden like 10 times, 15 times, and we've done other big gigs too that are great. But the one that stands out the most is in the beginning, I did the Taj Mahal. No, it wasn't the Taj Mahal. It was the Trump Tower. And this was back in 2001, I think. The Trump Tower, I opened for him, and it was the first time, besides the HBO thing, that now I could do my real act. And I used to do 40, 45, 50 minutes in front of him, and my daughter was there and my brother was there, and it was just amazing. It was an amazing, it was one of those first ones where I felt comfortable on stage, in front of such a big audience. And plus they paid me a lot of money for that gig. That one gig got paid more than I've gotten paid, every other gig.
Really?
So
now, why did
taking
that
a pay cut.
Why did that one pay more than the other one?
I don't know. I have no idea. It was run by Trump, and Trump was in the audience. He was there.
Really?
This was way before he was president. But
so how much time?
That was one of the best ones.
How much time do you normally open up with when you do the tour with Marc Anthony?
When I do Marc Anthony now, I do about 20 minutes.
20, and then they do intermission?
And then there's an intermission. It depends. Sometimes I'll do 30, depending if there's another act after me. Sometimes we have 2 opening acts. Then I'll do 15 or 20, because Marc always takes his time anyway. So I'll do 20. The other act will do 20. Then Marc does 20 in his dressing room, before he even comes on. He does another 20, 25. He does meet and greet.
So tell me, what is Marc Anthony like off stage?
Off stage, he's funny. He's very funny. He's he likes his beers. He doesn't drink anything. He doesn't drink any hard liquor. He doesn't do drugs. He doesn't smoke pot. He smokes cigarettes all the time.
Right.
And he drinks a little beer once in just
does he have any rituals before he goes up on stage?
No. Him and his brother, sometimes they go up on stage and they say a few words to each other, and they lock arms and they lock legs. Right. That's kind of like a little ritual they do. But other than that, he doesn't do, he'll sit in the dressing room and we'll talk, or he'll talk to whomever's there. A lot of times I'll come in and I'll run some jokes by him. And I say, I did this joke, I'm gonna do, and he always watches me. For some reason, for the last 21 years, he likes to watch me. He tells the people, shut up. They put it on a big TV. And when he ever comes in, he comes in, he says, is the feed in the dressing room? Make sure the feed is in. And so that makes me work hard, because I don't want to keep showing him the same stuff. 21 years, I can't show him, so every year I have to write a new half hour, a new hour. Right. Just to keep it fresh, and to keep it fresh for him too, but then sometimes he goes, oh, you didn't do the one about this one. Do that one again. Like one show I did all in Spanish. I did it all in Spanish. And then he goes, yo, man, do it in English. Like, the people out there's a lot of, Colombians, Guatemaltecos, there's a lot of Peruvians that just came into this country. Because that's another thing that happened to me, was that when I was touring with him, the first 7-8 years, it was mostly second generation Puerto Ricans, second generation Colombians. So everybody spoke English. So I did my act all in English with Spanish, thrown in there. Right. But then I got to Miami one year, and I started hearing a lot of talking. And even though Miami is like 20,000 also, arena, 15 to 20,000, I could hear them. And it was because they didn't speak English. So they were getting antsy. I was doing, 35, 40, and they were like, and they started stomping on the ground. They were like stomping. And I could hear a little bit. We want Marc. Donde está Marc? Donde está Marc? So I could hear that, and I was like, oh shit. So now I do it both in English and Spanish. I go back and forth just to keep them, from yelling shit out, Right. But it's not easy. People think, oh, it's easy, just go up there and tell jokes. Well, as a comedian, it's not just go up there and tell jokes. Right. Everything has to be perfect. The light has to be on you. People have to be, you know, focused on you. When I'm doing, especially Miami, people in Miami, a lot of posers in Miami. You know, a lot of great people, but a lot of people go to Miami to be seen, and you know they're walking in. I see, you know, and they're all decked out, and they want to be seen. They don't care about the comedian. That's not Marc Anthony. I don't have to listen to him. So Miami has been tough. You know, I can get them, but it's a little tougher than most places because people are still coming in. They're coming in a little late because it's Miami. You know, they want to.
Right, and they're there to see the main. You know, to you, you're like in the way. You know.
Yeah.
I remember when I did the Orchard Beach Salsa Music Festival with Ralph Paniagua. This goes way back. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, Ralph Paniagua. He was the producer of my show, The Latin Connection.
Well, that was outside, right? Outdoors, and people were there to see Southside. They would have whatever salsa bands they had for that Sunday. Because I would host every Sunday, right? And there was this one lady in front who kept screaming at me. I'm trying to do my material, right? Called orange spandex, an orange tank top, orange hair, and she's screaming at me. She's like, "Donde está la salsa?" Right? And I'm ignoring her, bro. Like, "Donde está la salsa?" After the third time, she was missing teeth, right? I go, "Donde está los dientes?" The place went nuts, and you know, Ralph got pissed off at me and shit. You know, whatever.
Ralph got pissed off. I saw him in Miami at one of the Marc shows. Está viejito.
You know, he fired me, bro. It was in the Post. He fired me. It came out in page 6. It said Mike Robles, host of whatever, because at the time he was connected with who's the boxing promoter? King. Don King, remember him?
Don King, yeah.
It was King Paniagua Productions, and boom, Mike Robles, host, fired for saying the N-word, right? And then basically what it was, I said the word nipple. I said nipple. It was one of those things where the crowd was so electric. I said something stupid like, "Oh my God, my nipples just got hard." You know, basically that's what came out. You know. Well, he couldn't do it. His son Paniagua Jr. called me on Monday and said, "We have to let you go." I said, "Well, what happened, man?" He goes, "Well, you know, you said nipples on stage." I said, "You gotta be fucking, Joe, you gotta be kidding me, bro." Anyway, long story short, but I don't think he's spoken to me since then. So if you speak to him, bro, just tell him I say nipples.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I spoke to him briefly that day. He called me over, and I'm like, "Oh shit, this is Ralph Paniagua." And he goes, "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "Good, yeah." He goes, "Hey, I'm over here in Miami, blah blah," and that was it. After that, I didn't, you know, I hadn't spoken to him at all. But yeah, it's amazing that, you know, in Orchard Beach, you can't say nipples, but you see nipples all over the place.
You see them all over the place. People drinking weed, doing nasty shit.
Yeah.
But I say nipples, and it's like, oh.
I know that's the thing about comedians. We get scrutinized. Comedians, we're the last ones to have freedom of speech, and now they're taking that away from us. Yeah. And now, you know, "Oh, you said this 10 years ago. You said that." Yeah. Everybody was saying that 10 years ago. You know, so what? You did. You know, I want all this cancel culture. I want it when it comes back to them. Then they're gonna be like, "Oh shit, wait a minute. I didn't mean it that way." Oh, but you said it. You know, you got people fighting.
I hope we see that day. But that being said, are you, like, when you write new material now, are you keeping it where you say what you want to say, or you say, "I can't take it there"?
I started to kind of, you know, check myself, but then I said, "You know what? I'm too old."
Yeah.
In one of my podcasts, I said, I said some jokes, and Marc was on there. Marc was you know, was writing in. He said, "Oh shit, you're getting racial." Because I said something. I don't know. I said something about Latinos, and I said how black people are. There are less black people than there are Latinos in this country, but they get everything. And I don't mean that they shouldn't get it. I just mean that we don't get it. So I'm not saying anything bad about black people. And then I said, "Yeah, that's right. I'm getting racial. You want to cancel me? Cancel me. What, are you going to cancel me from my basement? You're going to cancel me from my basement, bitches."
Right. So what did he say? Did he say it's okay, or he just made
he just made that observation. It wasn't him. I was just talking to the general public. You know, I was telling anybody wants to cancel me, because I got nothing for you to cancel me from. Okay, you can't cancel me from my basement. I pay the mortgage. So because it's gotten to the point where only certain people can say things and other people can't.
Right.
And they want to go after you just for the hell of going. Right now, I heard this is how ridiculous things are. I heard In the Heights, the movie In the Heights.
Yeah.
Right. It's supposedly a big hit. Blah blah blah. Right. There was a criticism today that there wasn't enough dark Latinos in the movie.
Really? What did when they say dark, they're talking about like Big Papi dark?
Yeah.
Big Papi Ortiz,
they're talking about
like Celia Cruz.
Morenos.
Celia Cruz dark.
You know what? We have morenos, we have albinos, we have mestizos, we have all shades when it comes to Latinos.
Different
we
shades.
Have lily white Latinos. We have carbon black Latinos.
Exactly.
But there's a movie about Latinos, and now they're criticizing it. There wasn't enough. Most of the Latinos were light skinned. But you know what? Most Latinos are light skinned. Most Latinos are not black. Well, there are quite a few black Latinos, but
I think they were in the movie. Those black Latinos would just happen to be sleeping, man. They were in bed sleeping, taking a nap, bro.
They got to the set late. Oh shit! Canceled,
Joey Vega. They got to the set late.
Canceled. Pretty soon they take me out of my basement. You can't.
Actually, there's one scene. If you want to get serious, I might have to go play the scene again in the Heights where Anthony Ramos, I think he's talking to his nephew on the corner. Nobody's watching the bodega. All of a sudden, someone comes running out of the bodega. I think they stole a Snickers bar. And the guy goes, "Hey, come back here." I think that dude that stole the Snickers bar, if I remember, was a black Latino, bro.
Oh, yeah?
I think. I could have seen it wrong, but
there you go.
I'm gonna have to look at the scene again, but
I haven't seen it yet. But
it should be that. You know how they have warnings on the screen like violence and sexual content? They should just put the amount of percentage of dark-skinned Latinos in the movie.
That's funny. That's very good. Just put 25% of Latinos were dark-skinned. 32% were in between, trigueñitos.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. You know what it is that everybody has a forum. Everybody has a way of getting stuff out now. Everybody has a podcast. Everybody has a vlog. Everybody has, Facebook and Instagram. So now everybody has an opinion.
Right.
So, pretty soon somebody's gonna watch this and go, Joe Vega with that shirt. He's trying to make believe he's gay. He's not gay. Cancel his ass. Cancel his ass for trying to be gay.
We laugh at it, bro, but maybe, I won't be surprised one day if it's heading there. Just the fact that we're talking about the covers in the movie, like it's getting rave reviews, in the Heights, and now there's not enough dark people. You know what I'm saying?
And let me tell you something. I was born and raised in the Heights. I was born and raised in Washington Heights, and I didn't leave Washington Heights till I got married and came to New Jersey. And in the Heights, no hay tanto moreno. To this day, there's not that many morenos. There's Dominicans that are black.
Right.
But when I was growing up, there wasn't that many morenos at all. That was one of the things that happened in the school. In my school, George Washington High School, there was riots because the morenos came in from Harlem. And then they were kicked out. And then they started riots. So, this whole thing about there's not enough morenos, there's not enough, listen, I can't take it. I can't take it. I'm too old. I'm 68 years old. I can't take this shit anymore. I can't take it.
Bro, I tell you what, bro, we just gotta do your Marc Anthony gig. Nobody bothers you. 20,000 people, and forget this woke movement, bro, because it's amazing. But real quick, what did you think of the movie In the Heights?
No, I didn't get to see it yet.
Oh, you didn't see that?
No, I didn't see it. I didn't see it because
it's good. It's cute. It's like no stereotyping, which is nice, and it's his story about Washington Heights, and it's a musical, bro.
Yeah,
I had no problem with it.
Yeah, you know what? If he portrayed what went on in Washington Heights, then even if it's stereotypical, that's what it is. You know, if they're playing dominoes outside, pero that's what happens.
Right.
You know, I saw it growing up. You know, not a lot, because when I grew up, Washington Heights still had a lot of white people in it. You know, but I saw it. I saw it in the Bronx when I lived in the Bronx. I lived in the Bronx for 6 years, from age 6 to 12,
Right.
and I saw everything that's stereotypical of Puerto Ricans and Dominican. I saw it. So
Right.
if it's in the movie, it's part of life. It's part, you know. So, you know, it's just that people need to talk about it. They need to express their opinion, whether they're right or they're wrong. And they don't care if they're right or wrong. They just want, and then the thing is that their opinion, sometimes it's what they think people want to hear.
Right.
So that's their opinion.
Right. When nobody really wants to hear it, nobody cares. But so I don't know what's worse, when we see the opinion, rather than ignore it, or actually address it.
Yeah.
I have a problem, bro. Sometimes, most 99% of the time, I don't even bother with this shit.
Yeah.
But there's that 1% where I gotta answer this shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then you get involved with some fucking idiot who has no clue, and it's like, why did I do this for, man?
I had a guy. I was looking at my reviews every time I was doing the Marc Anthony shows, and I would get like thousands of great reviews. Oh man, you were funny, blah blah. I never heard of you. I was surprised. It was funny. Oh, I've seen you 10 times. It was good. And then I would got 1 or 2 bad reviews, and I was like, what? What do you think I'm not funny? You know? And I started to he engaged me, right? And this guy wasn't just an asshole. He didn't understand. He goes, why? I can't believe Marc Anthony would hire you, blah blah blah. And I'm answering him back. And I'm like, motherfucker, I've been working with Marc Anthony for 20 years. Shut the fuck up, you know. And then this girl says, you're a racist and a misogynist, because I said, check this out. I said, I got off the stage, and one of my jokes is, one of the things I go, no está la gordita. I love la gordita. No está la gordita. I love gorditas. Come on, gorditas. Raise your hand. Raise your hand, gordita. Raise your hand, because I could see you from here. You know, raise your hand. Trying to look all skinny. Right? And then I go on to talk about how much I like gorditas. So I get off the stage. This was at a Marc Anthony concert. I get off the stage, and the trombone player says to me, Joey, this girl wants to meet you. She thought you were funny. She was laughing her ass off. She's beautiful. She wants to meet you. She's right there. So I walk over, you know, and I go, hey, hi, how you doing? Did you enjoy it? She goes, you are nothing but a racist and a misogynist, and you hate fat people and heavy people and blah, blah, blah. And she wouldn't stop. And I was like, oh, and you offended me, and you offended my friends, and you offended her. And she just went on. And you fat shaming and da, da, da. So I just stood there. I go, I said, listen, I just want to go up there, do my time, entertain you people, so you forget all about your troubles. I said, now you listen to Pitbull and you listen to rap, right? And you think I'm misogynist, but you dance to Pitbull and to rap. You dance when they're saying, shake your booty, bitch, shake your booty, bitch, shake your booty, bitch. I'm gonna hit that tonight. You listen to that shit, and it's okay. But I say I like gorditas, and I'm a misogynist. I say,
there you go. They're confused, bro. They're twerking to Bad Buddy, but they got a problem with them being called gordita.
Exactly. So, you know, so now what I do, like you said, I do my gig, I get my money, I go home.
There you go.
I got a house with a nice piece of land, and I'm like I'm a farmer. I'm a New Jersey Puerto Rican farmer, bro. I'm growing pumpkins, watermelon, peppers, corn. I got corn.
Yeah, corn.
I grew garlic.
Garlic.
I got tomato. I got cucumbers. I got all kinds of shit.
You got green bananas.
My wife is like, you ain't getting no horse. I said, Nana, I need a horse. She goes, you ain't getting no. I wanted to get chickens. She goes, this ain't Puerto Rico. You ain't getting no chickens. I said, can I get a pig? Can I get a pig? She goes,
you can't get a pig. Let me ask you real quick, man. Tell me about you. You've met J-Lo, right? Obviously, you must have met her.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lopez, right?
Jennifer Lopez is.
Be honest now, bro.
No, I'm gonna be very honest, because a lot of people, when they hear what I say about Jennifer Lopez, they're like, "What?" Jennifer Lopez, when she was married, I met her a bunch of times when she was married to Marc.
Right.
And sometimes we'd hang out. You know, King of Queens. You know that show, King of Queens.
Yeah.
So Leah Remini from that show is a friend of Jennifer's.
Okay.
And then I'm good friends with her husband and with her too. So we used to hang out at her house. And so I saw J-Lo with her guard down. I saw her with no makeup. I saw her in sweats. I saw her just being Jennifer Lopez. She's one of the nicest people around. Her and Leah. Leah is one of these tough women on TV, but she's very, very nice. Jennifer Lopez is just the hardest working person in the world. She works hard. She's all about business. She's all about show business. You know, I got to look right for the camera. I got to put on something that looks good. But deep down inside, she's a normal person. She's very vulnerable sometimes, and she's a nice person. I never saw her being mean to anybody. I never saw her being, you know, like sometimes you could tell when somebody's mean, even though they're trying to be nice. And I never saw her doing that. She's just a hard worker. You know, she gets up at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. She does the exercises and she goes to the office. You know, she starts working. What's on the agenda today? What do we got to do? Well, who do we got to see? Who do we got to call? And that's all she does all day long, unless she's filming something. Like, for example, I was a staff writer on the George Lopez show. George Lopez had this late night talk show.
Yeah.
And so I was one of the writers. And she was a guest on the show. So they said, what should we do with Jennifer Lopez? I said, I don't know. You know, I'm not the producer. I'm just a writer, man. I write jokes. That's all I do. So they said, well, you know, think of something. So I figured, what if she comes on? Because George Lopez used to come on. And he used to open up the show with a monologue.
Right.
He used to do like 10 minutes straight. Boom.
Right.
And so I said, what if instead of him coming on, she comes on and she does like 5 minutes of stand-up. And so they ran it by her and they said, well, Joey and the writers, they're going to write the material and then Joey's going to, you know, coach you on how to do it.
Okay.
So we wrote the material. She came in and I coached her and I told her, do it this way, do it that way. Look over here, look over there, pause. And everything I told her, this is the type of person she is. She never once questioned it. She just said, okay. And I would tell her, let's do it again. Okay. Let's do it again. Okay. And we would do it for a couple of hours. She was like, okay, whatever you say. I said, let's take a rest. Let's go over it. I said, just make it like a conversation. All right. Let's do it again. Okay. She never once said, okay, I got it. All right. That's enough. She went on and she killed it. She went on. She did 5 minutes of stand-up with timing, phrasing, pausing. She looked this way when she had to because she's an actress. So she was acting like a comedian. Right. She was great. She killed it. 2 weeks later, Ashton Kutcher was the guest, and they said let's have him do stand-up. Right. So we wrote 5 minutes of stand-up for him, and they said, Joey, go coach him, and do what you did with Jennifer. So I went in there. Within an hour, he was like, okay, I got it. He didn't have that work ethic that Jennifer has. I go, but we should do it a few more. Oh, I got it. I'm good. He went on. He didn't do that well. Thought, but Jennifer works so hard. She knows she's not the best singer. She knows she's not the best dancer. She knows she's not the funniest person. But when she sees somebody that could do that job, she'll watch them and she'll ask. Like she'll watch Mark's backup singer and she'll say, how did you hit that note? How did you do that? How did you do that? And she's a student because once the camera comes on, it's about Jennifer Lopez. Right. She doesn't have an ego off camera. So people don't know that she was taught by Joey Vega how to do stand-up. Right. People don't know that. They just go, damn, she's funny. That's being smart, Yeah. That's the extent of my, I never went to the clubs with her or anything. I just, I was at places where it was just relaxed, where she was just, she was staying at Leah's house for a while because they were renovating her house. Right. So she would be there in pajamas or in, sweats. Right. She would just be, joking around and watching TV. So I saw the other side that most people don't get to see. I saw that side of her being just a human being, Right. It's like you and I. Like you could be feeling, sick. I could be. I've got on stage with 103 fever, but the minute that light goes on,
Right.
bam, we perk up.
That's right.
Right. People don't see all the stuff that's going on. Right.
That's right.
Now I heard you had a health issue for a while, or I don't know what's going on, but you look healthy. You sound healthy.
Yeah, no, man. I'm not gonna, me, bro. I don't, I keep moving forward with everything I got,
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had some health that's pushed me back in the sense I can't go out and perform as much as I want to.
Right.
I got so many doctor's appointments to deal with what I got in my condition. So basically now it's mostly a lot of treatments for what I have. And when I got the energy, I do, well, not with the podcast, but the pandemic, I didn't do anything, but I picked my spots as far as stand-up. So I hope to go back to New York, and I like to go New York, Texas, LA. Those seems to be my three.
Yeah. That's why I saw you, Texas.
Yeah.
Was it San Antonio?
I think it was San Antonio.
Yeah, I think it was San Antonio.
I was back too. I think it was at the amphitheater. He's coming back, a matter of fact, to the AT&T Center.
Yeah.
Sometime in September.
San Antonio, Houston, Dallas. Yeah.
So I'm going to be texting you for some tickets. I don't know if you got the clout to get me 2 tickets, but
you know what? I used to have big clout. Now they got new management and it's dwindled down, but I could probably still get tickets for where you in San Antonio?
San Antonio.
Yeah. I might be able to get tickets for San Antonio.
If not, bro, I can meet you at the side door real quick, and just I walk around and just watch the show that way.
Yeah. No, you could always come. I'm here to see Joey Vega, right? I'm here to see Joey Vega.
There you go.
And then, come backstage, go to the side stage.
There you go.
We'll work something out.
I'm here to see Mr. Joey Vega. I want to close it out with the best story, bro, about your gig in Puerto Rico. This was it, because I know when you told me the story, you were all psyched out because you're going back to Puerto Rico. It's the motherland, right? Puerto Rico, and it's your people, the island. So go ahead and set it up, bro.
First of all, it was that first big tour that we did, 2002, and we were doing and I was having a great tour. Women were proposing to me. It was amazing tour. The shows were great. I was doing 50 minutes. So the last 2 shows, one was Puerto Rico, and then the last show was Dominican Republic. And I said, I'm psyched out. My parents had only seen me perform once at Dangerfields. Okay. And then they moved to Puerto Rico. And so now I'm coming back to Puerto Rico, Marc Anthony's opening act.
What was the venue?
El hijo de Pepín le abre los shows a Marc Anthony, el hijo de Adelina. People are talking, right?
And what was the venue? Huh? What was the venue?
The venue was the Roberto Clemente Stadium.
Big,
just big, 35,000, 40,000 seats. It had just opened up.
Famous venue, bro.
The roads weren't even completed to the venue, but it had just opened up.
Great gig, bro.
So I get there for rehearsal, the sound check, and they got these big screens with Budweiser, big screens. And the whole tour, I was on the big screens, right? And so this tour, I go, okay, so when I'm on that screen, the camera's gonna follow me, right? They go, no, you're not gonna be on the screen. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, no, you can't be on the screen because Budweiser wants to keep the Budweiser logo up there. I said, no, you don't understand. This is a stadium. This 35, 40,000 people. You see that person all the way down there? You can't see them, right? They can't see me either. No, we can't do it, blah, blah, blah. Shows at 8:00, right? Nobody wants to, nope, can't do it. Sorry, blah, blah, blah. I said, you know what? You just screwed up my whole act. If they can't see me, now this is the first time I'm working in Puerto Rico too, right?
Now tell me, who's at the show? Your mother, your father?
So I have a limo. I get a limo to pick up my parents because they're 2 hours away from San Juan, right? My friend Roberto Clemente Jr. Is in New York, but he flies down with his girlfriend.
Right.
Tito Trinidad is in the audience.
Right.
A bunch of sports figures, Puerto Rican sports figures. They're all in the audience. My parents are right in the front row. I got them front row seats. Those are my parents. Boom, right there.
And your wife and children too, right?
Huh?
Your wife was there with some of your children?
No,
Okay.
my wife wasn't there. So 8 o'clock comes around and people are still coming in, right? There was 2 other opening acts before me. Right? There was this guy, Tony something or other. He played guitar and he sang in English, right? And they were giving away free Budweiser for the first hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever. So all the Boricuas they're drinking. People are still coming in. They delayed the show. 8:30. People are like, "Dónde está Marc? ¿Dónde está Marc?" 9 o'clock, the show starts. This guy Tony goes on. He starts singing. Starts playing the guitar. Boo, pa fuera, pa fuera. Boo, pa fuera. He sings 2 songs. Boom, he leaves. Now this other group, Saluna was the group. It was 4 beautiful Latinas.
Mm-hmm.
They come out dancing and singing. They did 2 songs. Pa fuera, pa fuera. Oh. I'm like, oh man, they got 4 beautiful women. They can't even take that shit. So they leave the stage after like 2-3 songs. They did 3 songs. They left the stage. Now it's 9:45, right? And it's dark, and now the place is packed. And they go, "We're gonna take an intermission, Joey." I'm like, "What?" So we're gonna take an intermission. I said, "Oh, you don't understand. You take an intermission, when the lights go up, they're gonna think Marc is coming on.
Right.
They're gonna no, we have to do it because Marc is not here yet. He's flying overhead in a helicopter. He's gonna land behind in a helicopter in the stadium." So I'm like, "Oh, come on, man. You're killing me, man. And I'm not gonna be on the big screens?" Nope. Bro, I went up on stage. And the minute I went up on stage, I had to introduce myself.
Yeah,
right? From off stage. Y ahora vamos a presentar el comediante favorito de Marc Anthony, Joey Vega, desde Nueva York, Joey Vega. Boo, boo. Right? I'm up there and I'm trying to do material. I'm trying to do it in Spanish and English, Spanish. I'm going back and forth. Boo, pa fuera. And I see them doing the wave. They're doing the wave, all of them. They're doing the wave. And they go, pa fuera, pa fuera.
Oh, man.
Pa fuera. In unison, like 30,000 people. And then they got a beach ball. They're hitting the beach ball. They're playing with beach ball.
Oh, my God.
And I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Boo. So finally, I walk over to my parents and I start giving them a little speech like, I may never win an Oscar or an Emmy or an Academy, but I just want to tell you, I just want to do my Oscar speech to you. Yo los quiero mucho, le pido la bendición. Ustedes han sido uno de los padres mejores en la vida entera, and I'm just praising them. And now the audience got quiet. What is he saying? And I'm just talking to them. I said, right. And I see cameras, and I go, no, stop. There was cameras, right? I'm like, no, don't take pictures of them. So then I go like this, and the people are just like, they're all quiet, 30,000 people. And I say, y ahora por ustedes, hijo de puta, que vinieron a este show, que me jodieron el show con mis padres aquí, viéndome. I have worked all over the world, all over the United States and Canada, and I've been received. I've been nothing but great people, and everybody received me. Yo quería venir aquí a Puerto Rico, que estas son mis raíces. Aquí mis padres son de Puerto Rico, de Yauco, son nacidos y criados aquí. Y yo quería venir aquí para trabajar con el público puertorriqueño. Y ustedes, estos son los recuerdos que yo me voy a llevar para Nueva York. Ustedes se pueden ir al carajo, ¿ok? Wow. I threw the microphone down and I walked away.
Wow, man.
Marc was doing they were doing a documentary which never came out. And I go to Marc's office. And Marc wants to see you. So I go to Marc's dressing room. And I'm sitting with Marc on the couch. And he goes, what happened? I said, well, man, it's because, they didn't put me on the big screen. It's 10 o'clock. By the time I went up, it's 10 o'clock. They've been here since 8 o'clock. And I started, and then I realized the camera was on me. And I started, and my parents are here. They've only seen me perform once. And I started to choke up a little bit because of my parents. And then I noticed the camera. And I said, I ain't going to fucking cry on the camera. I said, so, it's Son poca vergüenza, son poca vergüenza, you know.
Mhm.
So he says, oh, all right, all right. So, oh, by the way, when I was up there on stage, he flew over in the helicopter, and people were like, "Ah!"
Oh God, man.
So, but that's not the end of the story. That would be the end of the story, right? That's not the end
Yeah.
of the story.
What happened?
I come back to New York, and all the Spanish radio stations, ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? They're calling me up. I don't know how they got my number. They're calling me up. You want to come on the air? I said, so I was on the air with Luis Jimenez.
Right.
That was the first time I spoke to him. And then after that, we became friends. But I told the story, and to me, it was no big deal.
Right.
Whatever. It happened. It happened. And Mark is like, tomorrow is the last show in Dominican Republic. I said, I ain't going to the Dominican Republic. He says, no, it's the last show. And I had pink eye too. I had pink eye, so I had glasses on. I said, no, Mark, I'm going home.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, no, it's the last show. I said, look, they didn't want me in Puerto Rico. They're not going to want me in the Dominican Republic.
Right.
So I flew back home, right? And I went on some of the radio shows. And then I got a call from, I think it was Goya.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Goya. I had a $5,000 gig back then. It's almost 20 years ago. $5,000, corporate gig. They canceled.
Right.
They canceled me because of what happened in Puerto Rico. I said, come on, man. No, but you insulted the Puerto Rican public. And it was in El Vocero. It was in the newspaper. It was on the news the next day,
Really?
Yeah. And then I thought it blew over. Like 5 months later, my brother is walking in. My brother was in Washington Heights, and he goes to a newsstand, and he picks up this magazine, una revista, and on it had ¿Por qué Marc Anthony ha traído a este para Puerto Rico que insultó el público puertorriqueño? Wow. And I framed it. I framed it. There's a whole big article about why Marc Anthony brought me and I insulted the Puerto Rican public and that's horrible. And it had a picture of me like this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then it had a picture of my parents. I had a picture of my parents looking up like this. Like, bendito. So I took that article and I framed it. I got it in the other side of my basement.
Wow.
So it never went away. It never went away, man. And to this day, I haven't worked Puerto Rico with Mark. I went and I worked Puerto Rico with Chris Rock because I write for Chris Rock. I used to write for Chris Rock and I opened for Chris Rock too. Yeah. So Chris Rock was doing Puerto Rico in one of his tours. And he said, you got to come. I said, I ain't going to Puerto Rico. He said, no, you got to go. So it took him like a month to really convince me. He goes, no, you got to come. It's a comedy audience, man. I said, I'm not going. And then finally he said, no, you got to come. So we went. I went to Puerto Rico and I did a show about 5,000 people. And it was one of the best shows ever.
Oh, right.
They came to see comedy.
Right.
They spoke English and Spanish.
Right.
And when they saw me, they had never seen, a Latino comedian open for another comedian.
Right.
A well-known comedian like that.
Right.
So to them, that was like, wow, Joey Vega, oh my God.
Right.
He opens with Marc Anthony too. Oh, it's hey.
Right. Not only that, in Puerto Rico, they're not used to the stand-up comedians from the States,
Yeah.
They're used to the island Puerto Ricans. I don't know if you ever seen the comedy, but it's all Spanish and
right.
It's more like, with that, with those ingredients,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Coming from New York and going over there in English, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw a clip of comedians, and I know Edgar Rivera does Puerto Rico every so often, and everything is, pues este cabrón iba caminando por la calle, ese cabrón hijo de puta, and that's the whole, and it's observational, but it's all about, that negative, cabrón this, cabrón that, hijo de puta. Even my cousins, they said, pero ¿por qué no le dijiste que se fueran para el carajo esos cabrones, hijo de puta? I said, no, I told them que se fueran para el carajo, pero...
Right. All that other stuff, yeah. So how long was it? How long were you supposed to do?
I was supposed to do about 40 minutes.
And how long was it before
you said? About half an hour because there was 2 other opening acts.
And how long before you said good night?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. It was over that fast, that quick, right?
Maybe.
Huh? Oh, you went mute now for a second. All right, you're mute right now. I can't hear you either. What? All right. All right, what I'm going to say, Joey, is all right. I don't know if you can hear me, but we're going to say good night. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. And I lost my friend Joey Vega for a second. But thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. And good night.